Hey, what's up guys? It's Matt from RC Overload. Welcome back. Check it out. Brought out the Axial SCX10. I know you guys have had a lot of questions about this thing since the last time I've had it out. I know in the last video I didn't really go over everything as in depth as I usually do. But not only that, I've done a couple of updates to it, put some new stuff into it since that last video. So I'm going to take time today to kind of go back over a few things that you guys have questions on, as well as show you guys some of the new stuff, including the new SSD Axles. Axial Axles. Those two get mixed up all the time. But show you guys those new axles that are on here and what we got going on, some ideas as far as future plans. But let's just jump right in. Start off, I couldn't tell you how many times you guys have asked me, where have I gotten this antenna from? Show you guys here a little close up. All right. This antenna I actually got off of RC 4-wheel drive. I can't seem to find it on there anymore. I actually went back on there yesterday to look it up, and I can't seem to find it. I find a whole bunch of ones for the semi-trucks that are on there, but I can't find this one anymore. However, I did come across it on eBay, so there's still an option there if you guys are looking to get it. If you guys have wondered how am I wiring up the LED lights? Well, what I'm using, that I've been using since I pretty much had this truck, is actually a controller unit made by My Trick RC. This is a 12-plug controller. It does headlights, taillights, fog lights, brake lights, turn signals. It does the works. And depending on where you put the wires actually corresponds to how they're going to interact with the vehicle. These brake lights, for example, will actually turn on. I'll actually brighten, get a little bit brighter when I let off the throttle, and it acts like the car is coming to a stop. Right now all I have in the front is actually my turn signal wires. I still need to get some light buckets for the headlights here. Need to get some more lenses and need to finish off doing a few more things to it. The Vanquish 6-inch LED light bar. This is actually going to get powered, if you guys can see the wires, from a separate 3S LiPo battery. This 6-inch will actually work off a 2S, but it's not as powerful. So I want to get the most amount of power out of it by using a 3S LiPo battery, which works fine. I've been using it before. And hopefully I can get some night runs here when this is done to show you guys really how bright this Vanquish LED light bar is. As you guys can see, I have not finished putting in the rear fenders. I actually need to wire the LED lights down the side here, so I wanted to give myself enough room to get in there because the Knights Custom. What the hell are you doing? Brett's here. He's working on his Baja.
New pipe. New pipe.
Update video. Don't worry about that. Ignore the noises. But I got to wire in the LEDs down the side here, and with the wheel wells from Knights Customs, it does get in the way of that, so I've left that open for right now. And I just actually came across last night, Knights Customs now makes some badass looking fenders for this. So I may look into that. You guys may see those coming up in the next couple of videos or so. They're actually really cool. They're shorter, and they look a lot beefier. You know, it's I can't remember what style they went off of, but if I choose to do so, you guys will see it on the videos. So that's pretty much that for the body as far as questions. Well, you guys more or less had questions about my chassis setup. Yes, these are the 100mm King shocks, okay? So I do have that extra height. It's not much, but it is substantial when you're looking at it. I don't know if you guys can really tell the height here. There's definitely a lot of clearance in the center. I am using 1.9 flat iron XL Proline tires on some Vanquish Method Racing wheels, okay? I do have some wheel spacers. I believe they are 180 or 2 something from Vanquish. I'll find out and I'll put it in the description below so you guys know. But there is a little bit of a slight, they come out a little bit more, okay? I'm trying to remember everything you guys asked me about. There was a lot of questions. The Knights Custom front battery tray mount, right? Move the battery tray from being in the back to the front. And all it is, if you guys can look down in there, try to get the light, it's actually just a little bracket that's in the... Don't ever film when there's other things going on. But it's just a little bracket that goes down in there, in between the chassis. I know it is kind of hard, you guys. So, little bracket, it mounts up to the frame, and it actually holds this very nicely. Keeps it within the width of the frame. So, I like it a lot better. You know, front end weight and so forth. Now I know you guys are all excited because I did put the SSD axles in this, and you guys wanted to see this. Use the rear one because you can see it better. Alright, SSD plastic axles. These things are awesome. Now I do have the 4-link setup going in the front and in the rear, right? You guys can kind of see. I'm trying to show you the best I can. These things are awesome. Now, something to make sure you guys are aware of. The SSD axles. If you notice the bevel right here, it's on the driver's side. Stock from Axial, the bevel is actually on the passenger side. So it actually gets switched. What does that mean? Well, now your whole drivetrain is backwards. They did this after doing some research and reading on some forums and whatnot. They did this for cosmetic looks, to make it look more scale. In order to solve that problem so your motor's not going backwards when you're hitting forward to go forward, you know, forward. Swap the wires around on your brushed or brushless motor. You want to reverse the polarity from the motor. You can also do that on your channel, on your transmitter, and so forth. So it's not that big of a deal. It's not going to affect it. Okay, but to make you guys aware, this is on the opposite side now. This is how it's supposed to be. This is normal. Okay, there you go. Looks pretty sweet on there. Definitely a lot more scale. Trying to think here, what else? Oh, yes, I don't know if I mentioned it in the other video, but we are putting a RC 4-wheel drive Warn winch on there. I am going to be reusing the Rampage bumper that I had on there before. I was looking for a Stinger bumper, however, all the ones that I saw came up a little too high above the bumper, the hood, or it was too low. One that I'm looking for is actually pretty much level with the hood, but I couldn't find that. And I just figured save myself a little extra cash and we'll use the Rampage bumper. I am sending this back out and I am going to get it repowder coated, get it re-spruced up a bit, and mount this bad boy right up to it. Kind of like so. So that's the game plan for the front bumper. Also picked up this guy from Knights Custom. This is the rear exhaust that he has made for the JKs and I think any of the Wranglers really. The Rubicon ones. So I think this will even work on the G6 model. Again, I'll put all the information in the description box, so guys, check that out if you have any more questions. My only problem is because of the bumper. Let me take that off. The bumper that I'm using is not the stock bumper. He designed this around the stock bumper. So it's going to sit something like that, right? Something kind of like that in there. However, I don't have the bracket. I've changed this around so I could fit the receiver box in the back, right? And the bumper hangs down a little too low. So I gotta make a bracket for this to sit in there and somehow mount it up to the chassis or the brace in there. So, oh, one last thing that I did do, okay? Knights Custom front inner fenders, right? These things are awesome. They look so cool in there. However, I was noticing a slight problem. Now, I don't know if this has been fixed with any of the newer models that have had these since the beginning of the year. But I noticed every time I took the body on and off, the inner fenders, the fenders on the front of the body would actually rub up against the edge of this. So what I actually had to do was trim very lightly right around this, just to give it a little more room when the body comes down. It doesn't hit this. It no longer rubs, but if you guys can kind of see, I have made some cuts. It's more or less where the screws kind of go on. So I did have to do that. If you guys experience anything like that, where these fenders rub when you're putting the body on, just slightly trim a little bit. You know, any scissor will work. I didn't notice any chipping. It actually cut very nicely. So that is that. I know, a lot of information. I'm sorry. There's a lot going on with this thing. So that's it for now. Like I said, I got to get the bumper cleaned up, get that mounted up, get the worn winch on there. Still need to get electronics. I've been kind of slacking in that department. But we'll get that nonetheless here done soon. And I think that's it, you guys. If there are any more questions that you guys have regarding this, please feel free to ask in the comment box below. And I will try to do my very best to answer it as quickly as I can. A lot of the questions you guys have been asking me too are based on the way this thing used to look. I encourage you guys to go check out the old build series, which I will post a link right there and in the description box. So go check that out, please. You guys will probably find a lot of links in the description as well for that, where I've got my products and whatnot. So that's that. There's the little update. And I think we're done. I know, you got shiny parts over here. Stop it. I'm excited. Like I said, Baja build's coming up soon. We got a lot of cool things going on with that. So stick around. If you like this video, you like this truck, give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to share it with your friends, guys. I encourage it. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe now. We got a lot of cool things going on this winter. Like I said, this Baja build we got going on is going to be nuts. And we got some drifting action going on and a whole bunch of maintenance videos and everything else. So subscribe. Do it now. Hit that button, please. Please? All right, guys. Till next time, I will see you later on the next RC Overload. See you guys.